welcome to You Gotta See This Movie. Podcast with two guys who like to talk about movies as well as the deeper thing that make these stories more than just a movie. So today, Jim, what is the movie that you gotta see?
The movie you've got to see is Aliens. Decades after surviving the Nostromo incident, Ellen Ripley is sent out to reestablish contact with a terraforming colony, but finds herself battling the alien queen and her offspring.
Ooh. Because this time it's war.
It is war.
It is war. All right. Well, in this podcast, we like to talk about movies. So if you're into that sort of thing, please like and subscribe. Let us know what you think of Aliens. And so Jim, tell me, when did you see Aliens? What was your history on this?
Let's see, 1986, right?
Yeah. I was 5.
I was a couple years out of high school. I know I went and saw it in the theater. Don't have any strong memories of it, though.
Okay, but you saw the first one first, right? 79?
I did.
Okay.
But then I was in junior high at the time, so I probably didn't see it in the theater. So I probably caught it on VHS later in my probably early.
So you started with this movie first, probably. Is that what you're saying?
No,
okay.
I did see Alien. I did see Alien.
Alien.
First. Yeah. And it's weird. I have memories of a next door neighbor, like, oh, my parents went and saw it and it was so scary, but my timeline doesn't work, so I'm not sure exactly when I saw it. But,
right.
But yeah, it was like Alien was crazy, super scary. Aliens, like, whoa, this movie, whoa.
Yeah.
There's more of them. Yeah.
So I've known a lot of adults that that thought the first Alien was like genuinely freaky and scary and like one of the scariest movies they'd ever seen. But like this movie's completely different.
Yeah, because you think of like horror, scary monster, spaceship aliens you think of like the 50s,
Right.
Nothing like these guys, man. These guys are flipping scary.
Yeah.
Like crazy scary.
Crazy scary.
Yeah.
The teeth, the slime, the fact that they have that other little jaw that comes out and
they don't even have to do anything to it. If it was just in the room with one of these guys, you'd pass out.
And let's talk about like one of the most important things, like how they are born and how traumatic that is.
Oh, that's so bad.
They burst right out of your chest.
The spider thing grabs your face.
The face hugger. Yeah.
Grabs your throat and shoves that thing down in you. And
so that leads me to my first experience with Aliens.
Yeah.
Was, in fact, not even an Aliens movie. It was the movie Spaceballs.
Oh.
I can remember me and my mom went and saw that movie.
So you saw that before you saw any
That was
stuff?
my first introduction into anything Aliens.
Oh, so did you know that's what it was from?
No, I had no clue.
Oh, dang.
No clue. It just all of a sudden,
hello,
it started happening.
Hello, my honey. Hello, breakdown gal. Yeah.
Right. But like still like the whole, like the guy's like, he's get that guy some Pepto-Bismol,
Did you even catch the Looney Tunes reference too?
That I knew that song.
You knew the song.
Once I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And then he starts singing, and then John Hurt plays the same character.
Yeah.
He says, "Oh no, not again."
Yeah.
So then I'm like, oh well, what was that about? So I had all these questions from my mom, like, what was this? And she told me it was like, oh, it's from movie Aliens. And
that scene scared my daughter. Man, she was freaked.
The Spaceballs one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Even when it puts on the little hat, it's scary looking.
It's still terrifying.
Yeah, the little looking around. Wow. So I think that was my first thing. I was always a chicken when it came to scary movies, but I was still like, I was enthralled with them.
Yeah. Like
I was scared to see them, but like whenever I went to the video store, I'm like in that section looking at the movies, looking at the back of the movies. They had horror trading cards back then. And I remember collecting those and like reading up. So I knew a lot about the aliens just because of that stuff. I'd read these cards. So I was kind of familiar, but Aliens, this movie was definitely the very first movie I ever saw in the franchise. So I think I finally got around to seeing this movie when I was like in 5th grade. It was right when part 3 was coming out and there was a lot of hype behind it. And I think my friends were getting ready to see it, and I'm like, oh, I think I should see Alien, but I rented this one on mistake. I thought I rented the first one,
okay.
But I watched this, And like a lot of movies, blew me away. I genuinely think I watched this right away again.
Yeah, it's one
like
of those
when I
movies.
watched it that first time, I'm like, I'm watching this again. I might have took a break, but I definitely watched it right away.
Now, when did you see Alien then at that point?
I think after I saw this, then I think I went back and rented the first one.
Now, were you disappointed because
It was slower.
It's way slower.
It was slower,
Yeah.
and it's not a lot of action. So I don't think I've definitely appreciated Alien as I've gotten older, more. And then I went and saw it got re-released in the theater, and I went and saw Alien. Then I think at that point I was like, oh yeah, no, this is a good movie. It's vastly different.
Oh yeah.
Like one's a horror movie, and this one, I don't know. This is more sci-fi awesomeness. I don't know how to describe
I mean,
this one.
yeah, I mean, it's it's got a cool hardware.
It's got
too.
everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
All the spacecraft and the all the different characters and the comedy.
And the comedy.
Bill Paxton, the
Bill
comedy.
Paxton,
This
man.
thing's chocked full of funny moments of comedy.
Yeah. So
Like I saw a review and it said something like action, sci-fi, horror, action, comedy, and I'm like, it's not a comedy, but it does have comedy bits in it.
it has its moments where
Yeah.
you give a little levity. Little moments of levity.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, yeah, I've loved this movie ever since. As you can see, my collection here on display. Got the Queen, got the Alien, got Ripley,
The Xenomorph.
and it is definitely a movie that we're not there yet, but from my son to watch, my kids to watch, because I think they genuinely would like it.
Yeah,
Just because it's
well, you can watch a monster movie with your kids if it's like you can tell it's like a dumb rubber monster.
mhm.
These things are truly terrifying. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But let's talk about, oh man, where do we start with this film? I guess let's talk Ripley. How she is coming back for a second time having to deal with these monsters.
Yeah.
And she is the
The corporate bigwigs don't believe her. She says, "Look, this thing is truly destructive, terrifying."
one could argue that the true villain of this movie is the corporate bigwigs, right? Because an alien is just an alien. They're creatures. They're going to do what the creatures do.
Yeah.
But the corporation, the Weyland-Yutani, they're the real evil ones behind it. Right?
And what was Paul Reisler? Is that the actor?
Reiser, yeah.
Reiser,
Yeah.
Paul Reiser. I can't think of his name in the movie. Boy, that guy, man, he plays that part very well.
It was, oh man, I'm blinking out. It's Burke.
Burke,
Yeah.
that guy, Mr. Corporate.
Who was the lieutenant? Lieutenant wasn't Burke. It was Paul Reiser was Burke.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was but you don't know that. You don't know that right away. You think he's
Maybe after seeing it once, you really see
Yeah.
what a stinker he is. Even early on, he's all about.
he's always like, hey, this place has got some monetary value.
Yeah.
It's got millions of dollars, which
That was like weird. It's like this is multi-million. It's like, really?
no, dude, this is trillions.
This is trillion. Yeah.
Yeah, obviously in '86 you didn't think that the economy.
The economy would be like
a little bit different.
Multiply that by 100 or 1,000. Yeah.
It was like, no, you're terraforming on another planet. It's more than a couple million.
Yeah.
But Ripley coming back second time. She survived the horror of the first one,
Mhm.
and I think it's cool, like seeing that scene too, where she's trying to explain this to all the corporate bigwigs, but you see all her crew,
Mhm.
and just kind of like remembering, like, oh yeah, man, these things, they took the whole crew out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just going back to like the difference between the first two movies is that Ripley, they were a crew of, I think they were just salvage people. They weren't soldiers. They weren't nothing.
So I need to watch the first one again.
Yeah,
But
they were just salvaging things.
and they came across the derelict spacecraft.
They were almost like, I don't know. I'm kind of watching that movie or that show, Deadliest Catch. How like for a time people go out into the ocean and they fish for crab. They make a lot of money, but it's very dangerous.
Yeah.
I think that's what they were. They were just salvage people that would go out for months, maybe years at a time, salvage as much as they can, and then come back and sell it, make a lot of money.
Mm.
But But yeah, they weren't soldiers.
We weren't soldiers. No.
Yeah, and Ripley's definitely not a soldier, and she, had to fight this thing
Yeah.
and barely survived. And now she's in a situation where now you're gonna be surrounded with everything you need to fight these things.
Well, and the only reason she changed her mind is because I got to do something about these nightmares. I got to do something about this trauma. And the only way to get rid of this thing that's haunting me is to face it again.
Face it again.
I think that's her only reason she went back, right?
But I don't think she thought there were going to be a bunch of them.
No, there's just going to be one nasty
right?
one.
Yeah. And the whole thing is just like, you're going to be surrounded by all these like hardcore soldiers, and they know what to do, and which I always thought they looked cool, right? The guns, everything.
Oh yeah, everything was like super cool.
Yeah.
All the hardware was super cool.
Apone, the sergeant.
Yeah.
He cracked me up. So that was another thing too, that again, being blessed, being a kid in the 80s, is that they made toys for all these rated R movies. And so it was almost as like I was raised to love these things.
Oh yeah.
And so they had these cool toys for all these movies and these action figures, and I had them. And I remember I had those toys and action figures first before I saw this movie, because I had Drake, which he was the other guy with the cool long gun, the big old machine gun.
Yeah.
His action figure was pretty prominent and cool.
That's funny that you would have the action figures before you even saw the movie.
And then I watched the movie, and then he dies pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that sucks. He was like my favorite character of the action figure. And I thought like...
No, are you buying these yourself? Like you're at the store with your mom, or is your mom buying these?
No, yeah, my mom's buying them for me.
But it's like, why would she buy you toys for a rated R movie that you haven't even seen yet?
I had Rambo.
She was just a great mom.
Yeah. I had Rambo action figures, which like we're dealing with Vietnam, PTSD, and he's killing people. I had RoboCop action figures.
Wow.
That was, I think I saw that before I got the action figures. But that's a bloody movie. Yeah. However, I do think it's a movie you got to see. But anyways.
See, I missed out on all the toy movies because when the toy thing took off, that was kind of a Star Wars thing.
That was a Star Wars thing. It off.
And so at that point, I was already into cars.
Yeah.
I was older, but my brother, he was one getting all the toys. So I can kind of like play with him with his toys.
Right.
But don't tell my friends. Right. But I completely missed the whole toy thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So I was bummed that Drake got killed so fast.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Wow. So I watched this last night and then realized, the time period that it was made, 1986. And that was all pre CGI. And I'm watching this thing. When you watch it, did you feel like, oh, that's a cool miniature set. Oh, that's a cool model. Did visually in your head, did it feel like models, or did you just watched it just to enjoy the movie?
Well, I mean, look, I'm a Godzilla fan, so I'm used to seeing models on screen, and they don't affect me. Like, it doesn't take me out of the movie.
Right.
But I noticed that this time too. It's funny you say that. Like, I'm like, but I was more impressed. Like, man, this model work is amazing.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. You know, it's all models. You can kind of tell they're models, but man, they looked really good as models.
And I like it. So it doesn't take me away from the movie.
Yeah.
Like even what would you call it? The tank, I guess.
Yeah.
That they're driving in. You could definitely tell like the model one, is moving a little bit more than the real one.
Yeah.
And I guess the real one was made out of
it's like an airport transport.
Which when I worked at the airport, I got to drive one that looked just like that. And I used to think the same thing, like, oh, I'm driving the tank from.
The tank from, yeah.
However, like there was never an area where you could just be in. So I guess like there was never a moment. The inside was never the real thing. It was like they would just say, all right, all the actors, you're behind it now. Just come out as if you're coming out of the vehicle.
Yeah.
But so the thing was off, but
it seemed like there was an awful lot of room inside that thing. Yeah.
Right.
I don't think they could have fit. Yeah.
But yeah, it's what they do to push the planes out. Like they hook that vehicle hooks to a plane and it pushes it out to the taxi, or
it has such a low profile, so like you don't accidentally ram it to the wing or something.
Yeah.
Right?
But they're cool. They were fun to drive, and they're giant tires. So it was really cool.
Yeah, those are cool. I like they have like the gun turret on top, and then when it goes under the low doorway.
Mhm.
The gun turret comes off and slides down the back.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah, it did. Huh?
I just always thought that was like one of the coolest things ever. And it's like, did they plan that? They must have planned it, right?
Must have.
Just to give it a
That's
little
so
extra
cool.
coolness.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought that was cool.
Well, that's one of my favorite scenes. There's a lot of favorite scenes from this film. Is I like the dropship scene.
Yeah.
You know, like where they're all getting ready, they're all getting armored up, and they're
Mhm.
like lining up, and they're just like, you know, you're going into this thing like things are going to be different this time for Ripley. Like
Yeah.
you're not going in alone. You're going in prepared. You've given us all the information. We're good.
Yeah.
And just like, you know, just the whole thing leaving the Sulaco and
Yeah.
just dropping out and falling into the planet. And some people are like, you know, like the lieutenant, like he's freaking out, but you know, I think it's Hudson or Hicks.
Yeah.
Hicks is falling asleep and just
Yeah.
getting one last nap.
Yeah.
in.
We're doing another drop.
Yeah.
Just routine. Just another day.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they land and everything's cool. Which leads me to a did you know moment of the film.
Maybe.
So when they completed filming this film, the whole inside area, like all the where they were, like the industrial and even where the aliens were, they left it untouched until another movie came to film in there. Do you know that other movie?
Terminator.
No, it was Batman. I'm just gonna say it was Batman.
I don't know. Really?
Yeah.
Well, where was it set up at?
So it
was it on a stage?
It was on a stage.
Oh, okay.
But I guess when the Batman crew came in, it was like the whole Axis chemical scene.
Okay.
So the same area. So they kept all that, but they had to remove all the alien stuff. And they said the alien nests and everything were still all intact when they went in, and they had to go in and destroy it. So, but I'm sure someone on that Batman crew walked away with an egg.
Yeah, you know they did.
You know they did.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole setting and just everything was just so cool. So
I just wonder where, like, I mean, Geiger's he's the one that designed these creatures and stuff. And I wonder, but I mean, everything else was just, God, was so unique in its overall look. And I just wonder if there's any other sort of early sci-fi movies or inspiration, unless it just kind of came from nature, just looking at bugs, you know?
yeah, maybe
bugs and hives and the way the queen and the workers and, oh man, I don't know. It's just crazy.
yeah, it was very unique. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. Let's talk about Rebecca.
Newt.
Newt.
Yeah.
Nicknamed Newt.
So let's also talk about the two versions of this film, because there's a lot more to Newt, a lot more scenes she has in the two different versions.
Yeah, because I haven't seen this in such a long time, and then I watched the special edition.
Director's cut.
It didn't say director's cut on the DVD, because
Okay.
if it did say director's cut, I would have looked for the original, but I didn't, and I watched the director's cut apparently.
And because I knew you would look for the original, I watched the original, but I love the director's cut.
Sorry, but at least you have. But see, you wouldn't have watched it if you had thought that I was gonna watch it or wasn't gonna watch it. Anyways,
I don't know.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I will say this. If anyone who buys the 4K version of the Aliens, it was a fantastic film, fantastic transfer, and it has both versions in there for one to
Okay.
enjoy.
All right.
I will not watch the original version ever again.
See, now you can thank me for forcing you to watch the original theatrical cut.
Right. So in the director's cut, it shows all those colonists living, doing their thing, that there's actually people there to save.
And in the future, they have big wheels.
And they have big wheels. Yeah. And you see Newt and her family going off on a salvage run. And that's when they come across the derelict ship.
Mm-hmm.
They're thinking they're going to make millions, but the dad comes back with the face hugger on his face and Newt's screaming, which is the first time of a lot of screaming from Newt.
She does a lot of screaming.
She does do a lot of screaming.
Yeah.
And
do you think that was part of her audition?
probably
Scream for me. You got it, kid. You got it.
It was just like it's like a straight
Yeah, she goes right into it.
Right.
Doesn't
yeah.
even, yeah.
But yeah, so she's the only survivor of this whole thing. And it started with her dad, and somehow you can imagine over time one alien taking over Or was it the queen that was in her dad and it started that way? We don't know, but we do know she's the only survivor.
Mhm.
And she's been able to survive for a long time on her own.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, she almost gets shot, but she's living in that pile of trash.
Mm-hmm. She just knew how to escape from these things.
Escape from those things. And I
Yeah.
love the scene where it's like, hey, come on, you'll be safe with us. And Newt said, like, she shakes her head. She goes, no, I won't.
Nope.
Nope.
Nope. I already trusted adults. I've trusted adults
Right.
for months, and they're all dead.
They're all dead.
Yeah.
Cool thing, because I watched this in 4K for the first time. There's a lot of things you don't notice that I've never noticed before, but like in her pile of trash, she had a My Buddy. Are you familiar with My Buddy?
My buddy?
My
No
buddy.
way. I don't know what that is.
Oh, it was
My
like
Buddy.
a doll that
Yeah.
they tried to like give to guys when I was a kid. It was like My Buddy, My Buddy. It was like a little My Buddy doll. I don't know. We'll show a clip.
My buddy, my buddy, my buddy, my buddy. Wherever I go, he goes. My buddy, my buddy, my buddy, my buddy, my buddy and me.
My buddy?
Yeah, and then they had a girl version called Kid Sister.
Kid sister, kid sister, kid sister. Wherever I go, you're gonna go. Kid sister, kid sister, kid sister and me.
My Buddy and Kid Sister. Each sold separately from Play School.
Kid Sister, kids.
Wow.
Anyways, I'm not gonna. I will be the first to admit I did want a My Buddy. Never had one,
Oh, okay.
but
She had a My buddy.
they had a My Buddy in there. I never
Nice.
noticed that before.
Nice.
In her pile of trash where she was living.
Huh.
But yeah, so she's the only survivor. Another funny scene that I liked from her is when Ripley was, well, they're getting ready to make first contact. They think they find all the people,
Yeah.
you know, and Ripley sees that like, oh crap, you know, we're seeing some grotesque things, and tells her like, get away, go sit in the front, don't look at what we're looking at.
Yeah.
And I'm like thinking, man, lady, if you only knew what I've seen this last
Yeah,
couple
yeah.
weeks, you have no idea
Yeah.
that the horrors I've experienced, that's not going to faze me anymore.
Well, and then one of my favorite lines is you know, this little girl survived for, I don't know what, 6 months or something,
Mhm.
you know, and Bill Paxton, well, why don't you put her in charge? Yeah.
It's like you should,
Yeah.
but let's talk about Hudson,
Hudson.
because he really is a great character.
Yeah.
That was one thing, like a lot of these characters are so well defined and so
Mhm.
well done.
Yeah.
Along with, you know, Ripley, Newt, Hudson. To me, I was trying to think, like, who is he? He's the guy that whenever you're in a stressful, hard situation, we all think the same thing, right?
Yeah.
But Hudson, the guy that actually says it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
when they said like, oh, they're still alive, we need to go get them. And he goes, I'm not going back in there.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, no one wants to go back in there.
Yeah.
You're right. Or yeah, let's put her in charge, or game over. Yep. Pretty much game over, but we're not going to say it.
Yep.
He's I'm going to put my heart on the sleeve guy. So,
Yep.
great character.
I wonder how much of that was ad-libbed,
I don't know,
but his delivery was always good.
I guess there was an interview with the actress that played Newt that I guess every time he said a bad word,
Mm-hmm.
like when the scene was done, he went and apologized to her. He's like, I'm sorry you had to hear that. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Yeah. The Bill Paxton was very conscious about like, she shouldn't be hearing me say these words. So,
I could see that.
yeah.
I could see that in his personality.
But he had to say it.
Yeah.
It's in the script.
Yep.
And that was his character.
Hmm.
But all right, well, let's get into, I think it's my favorite scene in the movie. And it is that first contact with the aliens. There's so much good about this movie before we even get to an alien part. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The first contact.
You know, it's when the soldiers are like, all right, we know where all the colonists are. They're like having a town meet. They think, oh, they must be having a town meeting.
Yeah.
And they're they're going in and they realize they're all like mummified and
Yeah.
jacked up.
So this is where like you see the movement behind them.
This is
these
when-
things start coming out of the walls.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh.
And you know what I love about that scene, for one, like this movie's just so good with the intensity.
Yeah.
And just bringing it, and all comes down to the sound of the tracker, that ping, ping, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like it's a very distinct sound. and and realizing like, man, they're there's movement right here. What's moving?
Yeah.
There's nothing here, and they're so prepared. What I love about it is that they're so prepared, they're so good to go, but yet as soon as the aliens make that first contact, as soon as they start dying off, just chaos happens.
Mm-hmm. Everything
bad that could have happened, like all the ammo gets blown up.
Yeah.
Guy gets flamethrowered because an alien grabs the flamethrower guy.
Yeah.
And it's just chaos.
Well, and then they couldn't fire their weapons because they were basically in a reactor.
That's right.
Yeah. So do you think the aliens knew that? Let's build our colony in the reactor so they can't shoot us when they come.
Good idea.
That's
Bob.
my alien voice. Hey, do they make any sort of? They're not vocal at all, are they? They squeal. I guess they squeal.
They do communicate. They do the hissing.
Oh, they hiss.
And they do like when they're in pain.
They squeal when they're. They do like
when
a
they're
squeal.
in pain.
No,
Yeah.
They hiss and squeal.
Yeah.
They don't make any other kind of sounds. No.
No. However,
better not be a telepathy thing.
You're asking
that would be,
whether or not they're
lame.
intelligent.
That would be lame. Well, they are intelligent.
Because the queen did use the elevator at the end.
She was able to push the buttons.
She was able to get in the elevator.
I did notice that.
Press the button and go like, all
elevator.
right.
Yeah.
Second floor, please.
Yes.
There's some people I got to eat.
How can she fit in there anyway? That's one of those things. But it's a movie magic thing.
Yeah.
How do you fit in there? Yeah, she fit.
She fit.
She got
Just
in
bigger
there.
fit.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And they're sneaky. They're sneaky.
They're so sneaky. Like, yeah, they were in the wall.
They're in the wall
just
and they're hiding.
waiting.
And they're hiding. It's not like they attacked them when they first came down the hall. They're like, all right, guys, be really still. Pretend that we're not here.
Yeah.
And then we'll get them.
And I love how like the Lieutenant Gorman, that was the name, who is supposed to be in charge.
Yeah.
He completely loses it. Like the minute everything goes, he's lost control. And now Vasquez is like, let's rock. She's like shooting. I don't know what they're shooting at, but she's shooting.
Yeah.
No one's listening to him anymore. Ripley has to like take control because he's panicking.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just complete chaos. And I love it. I loved every minute of that scene. Like that's such a well done scene. And then like you've got all that like build up and that tenseness, and then you're seeing the chaos, and then you get the hero moment where Ripley like takes control of the vehicle, and she's just like, now it's Ripley's rescue, and like the music picks up and just goes in, man. Yeah, love that scene. All right, so one of the things that made this movie different was the addition of the Queen. Right?
You mean in different from
the first one?
First one. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So first one, you see an alien. Now you're dealing with something else, and that again, another thing they omitted from the original version. There's no talk of it, which you just see it at the end. Like
what do you mean they don't talk about the alien?
So in the director's cut, they hint at like, oh, there's probably a queen. There's something that happens, but in the original, there's no mention of a queen at all until.
So there's no scene like where they said,
no,
there's eggs and who's laying the eggs.
No, that's out.
Oh.
No, all that's in the original version is Bishop saying like, oh, we're dealing with something different. There's something different going on here.
Yeah.
But the alien queen, for one, it was such a cool scene, and I can see where like maybe taking it out and not omitting it was good, or not like talking about it in the beginning, because me watching it last night, and when she's walking up and she's rescuing Newt, and you think you're just dealing with the aliens, and then all of a sudden the scene just gets deathly quiet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think is it more dramatic though?
I think it might be more dramatic.
Yeah, because you don't know what, and all of a sudden you see, oh man, she's got like a sack, and oh man, she's laying eggs. Whoa, yeah.
The scene, I think it's again James Cameron, just well done. It's just it gets deathly quiet, and you slowly start to hear the breathing of the Queen.
Yeah,
and you just see Ripley like taking it all in, and then all of a sudden you see the Queen, and you see the eggs, and you see like, oh man, like it's crazy.
Yeah.
And it was almost so. Then you also see the intelligence, that there's more to this, because when those aliens were going to attack her, the Queen tells the aliens like, back off.
Yeah, but she didn't do that until after Ripley was like, "Oh, these are her
Right, 'cause
kids.
Ripley-
I'm gonna torture them." She threatened.
Ripley, she was pointing the gun at the
she was
eggs,
gonna. Yeah,
and the Queen's like, back off,
Back off,
like
guys.
let her back away, let her get out.
yeah.
And then Ripley just tortures him anyways. Launches the grenade launchers into the egg sack, but
Sure, she just booked it at that point. Like,
oh man, she had a vendetta against the
She was
aliens,
mad,
man.
though.
She was
Yeah,
mad.
she's
She
mad.
was just
Just
like,
gonna
I'm gonna
torture
take all these out,
Yeah.
but she should have just stuck to the plan. Nuke the
Yeah.
site from orbit.
yeah,
But
Yeah.
yeah, no, she was mad, and she takes off, and the Queen follows her, and that's where we get to the final scene where
the Queen's mad, and the Queen wants to take her out.
Yeah.
like
So let me ask you: the first time you saw it, were you surprised at the ending? Like, did that catch you off guard that the Queen was still on the ship?
I think so.
Okay.
I think I seem to recall like that was the end of the movie, and even the music implies that, oh yay, they got away,
Mhm.
and then she hides in basically the landing gear, right? That's where she comes out.
Yeah.
She gets up in there,
And she just
and it's a pretty and it's
Bishop apart, man.
yeah, poor guy. You really feel for Bishop.
Yeah.
Every time they insult him or put him down or something, you
Mhm.
kind of feel he has that kind of look on his face.
Huge. So great. It's a great part. I guess that actor Lance Hendrickson,
Yeah.
I guess he was done acting, and he said, like, this is it. Like, if this doesn't work out, I'm not acting anymore.
Yeah.
And it worked out for him.
Yeah, he did great. I
He
mean,
did
I
great.
can't imagine playing it any different than that.
And I like too that just you've got a whole different version, because an alien, the android going crazy, and kind of being a company man,
Yeah.
because they were, I guess he got directives from the company, that's why he was gonna like try to save the alien, kill everybody.
Yeah.
Bishop was not that. Bishop was definitely more humane
Yeah.
and wanted to save them. And even just the scene going in when, like, well, who's going to go? Bishop's like, well, me, I'm the only one that can go. He's like, trust me, I don't want to do it, but I'm the only one that can do it, you know? But yeah. And then, him just getting jacked up, ripped up, man.
But he
And
survived. He survived.
He's a robot.
That's so
But
gross,
that
though.
grossed me out,
Man, there's all this like alien like, and the blood and the stuff, but nothing is as gross as that white,
and as
milky.
someone who does
robot.
not like milk. Matter of fact, milk grosses me out.
Yeah, milk kind of grosses me
And
out,
sometimes
too.
when my kids are like slurping, drinking milk, like I can't look at them.
Yeah.
Like I need them to leave
It's
the
just
room.
gross, right?
Ugh. That scene grosses me out.
It's really bad.
He's like, yes. It's so
It's like,
nasty.
ugh.
Yeah, he got jacked up.
Yeah.
But Bishop, he still did good.
Yeah.
He still did good. And then we get to the final battle, that final thing where she's finally in that power loader and she's going to take on the Queen herself.
Which is a little like, those power loaders aren't really quick. They're not really agile. I mean, you got the hydraulic claws, which she should be able to just pinch her head off, right? You think.
You would think like it just keep going.
Just pinch her head
Yeah.
off, right? And that tail's coming around to stab her, which could have taken her out pretty easily. But hey, made for a great fight.
Made for a great fight.
Yeah.
And, what's cool, they actually make the power loader for these characters.
Oh, they do?
I've yet to get it.
Oh, you don't have it? That's cool.
I want to get it.
That's
so
a cool piece of
if
equipment.
there's anyone who wants to send that to me. go
I'm
send it to
surprised they
me.
haven't invented that already. I mean, you got forklifts, right?
Yeah, forklifts, but like something that like when you're walking around,
can
that
walk
sound like,
around.
yeah.
Yeah, those are super cool.
But
in the big fight, drops in the airlock.
And it ends the same way the first one does.
Yeah, it's the only way. It's the only way to kill an alien is to blow him out of an airlock.
Blow them out of an airlock.
Yeah.
Yep. But and then for the first time, another thing I noticed, and I think it really is just the heart of the movie. Well, I guess let me tell you this again. Another scene that they took out that's not in the original one that's in the director's cut is the scene about Ripley's daughter, where Ripley learns that her daughter has lived her life. She lived to be an old lady and she died.
Mm-hmm.
And and so that is heartbreaking. I'm sure it's heartbreaking for Ripley, but at the same time, I think there's some comfort to know, like, oh, she lived a good life. She lived old. I got to miss out on everything. Got to miss out being a mom. I think she makes a comment like, oh, I was supposed to be home before her birthday.
Yeah.
I told her. So she missed out on that. But then there's this like relationship she starts to develop with Newt.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, again, another scene they take out, I feel like that's all I'm talking about, was the whole Newt asking about, oh, do you have a family? Like, that's not in the original version either. You know?
Yeah, I feel like when I watched the original that it was implied in her passion for Newt and wanting to protect her. You kind of understood it.
You almost get like a second chance. Like Ripley was kind of getting a second chance at being that mom.
Yeah.
And then at the very end, when I never noticed it before, but when it's all over, the aliens, the queen's gone, safety is now here, Newt runs up to Ripley and says, "Mommy." And I've never noticed that before. I rewound it a couple times. Like, is she saying mommy or Ripley? I was like, no, it's mommy.
I have to watch it because I missed that.
And again, like, you know, you got Newt who's lost her whole family.
Yeah.
And now there's this new relationship, and now Newt can trust her and know that Ripley's, you know, a good woman, you know, whether or not, well, I mean, if you ever watch part 3, you know what happens to him, but we're not going to talk about part 3.
You know, it's funny. I don't even remember part 3. What was the prison colony one? Is that
that's part
3?
3?
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's all I remember. Prison colony.
Yeah.
Something.
So, but it was good. It was good. And it just kind of, you know, amongst tragedy, you can still be, you know, a hero to people. You can still be, you know, there's good people that are not, you know, in it for themselves, because that's what the corporation is. That's what Burke was, all that kind of stuff. But you got all these soldiers, and even Hudson at the end, he kind of redeems himself, and he's trying to take many out before he goes.
Yeah.
Gorman goes back to save Vasquez, but you know, they realize they can't be saved. They're going to die together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just good stuff that, you know, you're still in it for other people. You're not just in it for yourself.
Yeah. I mean,
or not a corporation.
Yeah. I mean, Ripley could have easily just, you know, figured, you know, the girl's gone now. You know, the chances of her surviving are basically not.
I mean, the alien
none.
grabbed her.
Yeah. She could have been, yeah.
Which is interesting because her logic in the beginning, when they realized like, oh, the Sarge is still alive, they're all still alive, she was like, no, they're gone. You don't understand. They're gone.
Yeah.
You need to let them go.
Yeah.
But it was different.
Yeah.
This time around, she's like, no, I'm going to go back.
Yeah, she had to. She had to.
So
it was a suicide mission, but she went anyway.
Yep.
So I came across a YouTube video, which I highly recommend, and you need to check it out. I think you were watching it. I was watching it before the podcast.
Oh,
yeah, it was.
I was like, "What are you watching?"
Yeah. It's called Aliens in the Basement, the Bob Burns collection. So Bob Burns, I think I mentioned him to you before. He's a famous movie sci-fi collector, enthusiast, and I guess he started off, you know, playing like, dressing up in gorilla suits and being in different, sort of B movies and stuff.
That's awesome.
But anyway, so his private collection started growing over the years, and Jim Cameron would give him stuff, and people would just start giving him things. So he was putting on a big time Halloween show in his front yard, and he would do that every year. And somebody says, "Hey, you want some stuff from Aliens?" He's like, "Yeah, great." They started bringing stuff over to his house, and they ended up bringing like the alien costumes
just for his like Halloween decoration.
For his Halloween decoration.
Oh my gosh!
So he got alien costumes. He got the alien queen. He got set pieces, and just did it all up for this Halloween show. So the trucks just kept coming and coming, and then after that event, he developed a relationship with Jim Cameron, and he would basically just give him props and models and things. Just because he knew that he's not going to sell them, he's not going to put it on eBay, he's going to put it on display, and if I ever needed it again, I could just get it.
Yeah.
And then I had an opportunity, it was in the 90s, to go visit Bob Burns's collection, and incredible collection of stuff, and tons of alien stuff, and miniatures of the Sulaco and
man.
the drop ships and alien heads and all kinds of stuff. And he had the derelict spacecraft in his driveway, just beat up. The thing was basically like an wooden armature or a metal armature with plasticine clay
Okay.
and like electrical wire pressed into it, so it was just falling apart.
Oh man.
And he said, we went over there, me and a couple guys from the shop, and he says, you guys can have it if you can get it out of here. And we're like looking at this thing, we're like, there's no way to move this thing.
Yeah.
You need a flatbed truck and a forklift. And we're like, oh well.
That sucks.
But
man.
but yeah, but his collection was just outrageous. Yeah, so definitely check it out.
Yeah. What would you say it was called? Aliens in the Basement?
Aliens in the Basement, the Bob
Okay.
Burns collection.
Bob
And
Burns.
I think it looks like there's a bunch of videos of his collection, but this one was strictly aliens.
Aliens.
Yeah. I didn't even watch the whole thing yet. I just
Oh, wow.
started going through. I'm like, wow, all this stuff is like so cool.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see. Let's get into this trivia battle.
Let's do this.
You embarrassed me with Super 8. So
Oh, yeah. I smoked you
that was quite the embarrassment. So I got some redemption to make.
Probably
with this
because I have a feeling I'm not feeling confident at all.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into it. Trivia battle.
Trivia battle.
All right. Well, champion, you get to choose. You gonna go first, or am I gonna go first?
I'm going to go first.
All right.
Okay, first question. What is the name of the station that Ripley wakes up in? It's a hard one.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Is this the Transylvania station?
Wrong.
It's wrong.
Got nothing?
I got nothing now.
All right. For half a point. That sucks. I wish I would have went first. Gateway Station.
That is correct.
Gateway station.
Station.
Ah, Gateway.
Yeah.
This is the Gateway station. Yeah, I remember him saying that.
Next question. How long was Ripley's hypersleep after the Nostromo incident?
57 years.
That is correct.
Wow. I knew that.
Yeah.
Should have went second.
See, we both would have had us 1 point. Yeah.
Wow. All right.
Okay, see, this question might be a director's cut question.
Okay.
Because you said that the colony scene never happened.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a scene where it shows a sign for the name of the colony and its population. Is that in the original cut?
It is not. I mean, I know the name of the sign, but the population, I think I have a good guess. But it's his question.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I was gonna skip it unless you think you have
I
a
might be able to
chance.
answer that.
Okay. So, what is the population of Hadley's Hope, the colony on LV-426?
I have no clue. I don't even remember the sign.
Yeah, it's Hadley's Hope.
Hadley's Hope?
Hadley's Hope.
Who's
I think
Hadley?
it's some
guy?
dude that founded the colony.
He's the guy that made the sign.
Sir Hadley of I don't know,
Right.
Missouri. It's in the 300s, right?
No.
No, okay, then I don't know.
Okay, we'll skip it. It was 158.
Oh, 158. I know there was like 70 families,
Yes.
but
158.
yeah.
Huh.
All right.
Okay.
But that is in the director's cut.
Next question. What was the model of android that was on the Nostromo with Ripley?
I don't know. I don't know.
We hear Bishop and
Yeah.
Ripley talking about it.
He says, no wonder the somethings were always a bit, off.
They're a little bit, yes.
The
That can't happen to me because I'm the
250s?
No.
Okay. I don't know. You got the steal.
T7s. I don't know. I have no idea.
Dang, it was the 120A2.
128
They were always a bit twitchy.
They're always a bit twitchy.
Ah,
It must have been an older system.
Yeah. Blame it on an older system.
yeah.
Okay, next question. What is the first thing we see being moved by a power work loader? which I'm hoping that this isn't another director's cut thing.
The director's cut showed a scene. It's showing the Sulaco, like it, and James Cameron purposely did shot by shot the same way that Ridley Scott did when he was showing the Nostromo. But I think the movement of the power loader was the same. But it's your question.
Oh, what was the first thing they moved?
Mm-hmm.
I think they moved one of those warheads, right? They
Yes.
picked up
That
a
was the same
warhead.
missile, yeah.
Yeah,
Missile?
it's a missile.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Ding.
Next question. What word does Vasquez have written on the side of her gun?
Adios.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Adios.
Adios.
Okay, next question. What was the source of the movement the Marines detect during their first sweep of the colony?
Is that for me?
Yes.
Hamsters.
Yes, that is correct. It was hamsters.
Dude, I would have got that wrong. I thought it was a rat, but I guess it was a hamster.
No, they're hamsters.
No, those little hamsters.
Yeah,
Those
yeah.
little
hamster
habit
tubes.
trail.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question. What is the name of Newt's doll?
Casey.
That is correct.
Oh, I knew that.
Okay, next question. What level in the atmospheric reactor is the xenomorph nest located on?
I'm glad you got that one.
Because you don't know?
I don't know that one. Do you know that one?
No.
Yeah.
Level 7.
No.
Usually you're so lucky. I'm going to say level 3. It's a 3-point something.
No, it's sub level 3.
Oh,
But-
so you're going to get me on the sub.
No, I'll take it. It's just I was looking for sub level 3, but I didn't think that was going to be that hard of a question. They mention it, like I think a couple times, but I'll give it to you.
Give it to him.
All right, give it to me.
Give it to him.
Okay, next question. That was a half point. How long would the Marines have to survive on the planet before a rescue team would arrive?
This is my question? Yeah, because I just stole
Oh,
17 days.
That is correct.
I was going to say 17 weeks.
No, 17 days.
We're not going to last 17 hours.
17 hours.
Okay.
Why don't you put her in charge?
Next question. While entering the atmospheric reactor, what 2 modifications does Ripley make to the weapon she takes with her when she's going to save Newt?
What, 2?
She does 2 things.
Shoot. This is your question. I can think of one.
She does 2 things? Well,
Yes.
she puts a... But she doesn't put the flamethrower on it because it already has a flamethrower, I think. I don't know. I really don't know.
Do you give up?
I give up.
All right, I'm
yeah.
going to guess.
Yeah.
Well, one is the flamethrower.
Oh, she adds that?
Yeah.
I thought-
She adds it to the gun.
I thought the guns already had
So
that.
that's
Two
The-
different guns. You
The
can even look-
first thing is she attaches the
Yeah.
gun to the flamethrower.
she attaches the gun to the flamethrower.
She uses tape.
Well, wait a minute. When their first contact, though, they got rid of the arms. They already had the flamethrowers, or did they have?
There were
both?
2 different guns.
Oh, so they had 2.
Yeah, there was a flamethrower person, and then there was the gun, like a gun, a normal gun.
Well, and she's not modifying it. She's just grabbing the flamethrower gun along with the
yeah,
other gun.
but she connects them.
She
What, with
connects
tape?
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally.
Zip-
she
yeah.
zip
she
ties or
literally
something?
tapes it.
She puts it on a bench, and she's like,
and she tapes it together. But
All
she,
right, okay.
she does
Yeah.
a second. There's
The-
a second thing
The
that she
second
also
thing
adds
is
to
it the like the missile, like the. It's not the grenade launcher.
No,
It's okay. Dang it! I don't know what the second thing is.
I'll give you a
Let me
half.
see. Let me see that figure.
She writes "Hasta la vista" on it.
I'll give you a half point.
Because that figure, yeah, it definitely has a flamethrower in the gun.
Okay,
But
so
what's the other thing? I can't think of another thing. It's not.
she just throws on an ammo belt, but that's not.
No, that's not it. I don't know. What is the other thing?
She tapes the tracker to the barrel of the gun.
Ah, is that on the model?
That'd
The action?
be incredible if it was.
I don't know.
Oh, Newt's tracker.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She tapes it to the top of the gun.
No, I don't think it is.
It'd be too small.
No, that's good.
That's pretty good.
Okay, so that was another half. Well, no, that was already a half point to begin with. I don't want to give you a quarter point.
Just don't give it to me.
Okay. All right, last question.
Last question. For who?
My question, right?
Yes. What does Ripley use to navigate her way back out of the xenomorph nest?
To navigate her way out of the... Was it a flare?
Yes.
Yeah.
She follows her flare trail
Yeah.
that she made. All right, that's it. You won.
Hey, you know what? That was actually pretty good.
That was
I
bad.
felt like we went back and forth.
Yeah, I did a little better than I thought.
Yeah.
No, that was a blowout. You did
Oh, it was?
terrible.
Oh.
It was a blowout? Oh, come on.
Oh, well.
All right, I get
It
the
was
Duke.
6-2.
6-2? That's not a blowout.
Well, I mean, it's not a
What
close one.
What was the Super 8 score?
Well, let's not talk about old things. Let's,
That was also a blowout, and I think
yeah,
it
that was a
similar.
blowout.
That was
I'll
a
give it to you,
blowout.
blowout.
All right.
All right. Okay, all right. So, what's your final thoughts?
Final thoughts of movie.
What's your rating?
It holds up. Movie holds up.
Movie holds up.
Big time. Big time.
Mhm.
My rating is a solid 9.
Mm.
Could have been more than 9, but horror isn't my favorite genre.
Mhm.
But this one is really good.
Mhm.
It's really good. So I got a solid 9. What's yours?
Yeah, I mean, no, I've loved this movie forever,
Mhm.
and it's to me, it's a 10. It's one of my 10s. It's the man. My house is burning. There's only so many movies I can grab. I'm definitely grabbing this one.
Wow.
Desert Island movie. If I, it wouldn't be probably my number one Desert Island movie, but if I could have a couple. But again, like I said, from the moment I saw this movie as a kid, yeah, just everything about it, just I loved, and I love the creature, and even the not so good alien movies.
Yeah, I mean, this
I
one's kind of
love-
it's kind of a standalone almost. I
Mhm.
mean,
It could be. Very much
It
could
could
be.
very much could be as just a
Yeah.
standalone because I know it's like they keep going on, and then
Mhm.
they do like the Covenant, Alien Covenant.
Yeah.
and they get all the backstory of everything. But this one, it's could just
See,
be
to me,
standalone.
if it wasn't this movie, and then I did see the first one pretty quickly after I watched this one. I think, the next day. But I've fallen in love with these creatures. Like let's be real, they can make 100 in these movies. I'm probably going to go see every single one of them. Are there bad alien movies? Yes, there's some bad Alien versus Predator movies, but anyways, I go to the film to see these aliens. But what makes this movie so good is everything. It's Ripley, it's the soldiers, it's the ships, it's the weapons, it's the gun, everything about this movie to me is perfect. So again, but I am speaking about the director's cut. I am not speaking about the theatrical version.
All right, I got to watch that
So-
theatrical.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
You're fine without it.
Yeah, but that's what I grew up with was the
Yeah.
theatrical version.
Well, I did too, but then I wised up.
You're like, oh wait.
Anyways,
I'll watch the theatrical and we'll have to
yeah.
come back and talk about it.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, this actually wraps up our second season. We got some holiday ones coming out that you can look forward to. But for the most part, this is it.
This is it for the season.
We're going on vacation.
Wow.
We're gonna take off to the Poconos.
The Poconos.
Or I don't know.
Something.
Whatever. But yeah, we're off, and we were a lot of James Cameron this season.
Yeah.
We did. We started off with Terminator,
Yeah, Terminator,
did Abyss, Aliens.
Yeah.
So it was good. So thank you for, everyone who has subscribed, everyone who has liked, everyone who has commented. We really appreciate that. And this truly is fun for us to do. And, we would be doing it even if we weren't recording this, because this is kind of what we do
Kind of what we do anyway,
in our meetings.
right? Yeah.
But we love recording this. We love kind of being here on the set. So please like, subscribe, look for us. We always talk about maybe doing some other things like shorts and whatnot, but who knows? But yeah, look for us come holiday season. We got some good Halloween movies we want to talk about, as well as Christmas movies that we want to talk about.
Try to find a Thanksgiving one. which is tough.
Which is tough because there are some, but I don't really want to talk about them.
Yeah,
there are movies that you don't got to see, but I do believe this was the second year in a row that I have won most of the challenges. I didn't tally, but
you didn't tally?
Probably. Yeah.
I'm surprised.
It's just a guess.
Yeah.
It's just a good educated
Yeah.
guess. But yeah, let us know. Let us know if there's any movies that you think we got to talk about.
Mhm.
We may talk about it. It may already be on the list for season 3, but who knows? But if anything, thank you. Thank you for subscribing and taking your time to listen to us babble on about our favorite movies. So,
Mhm.
All right, Jim,
All right.
another season in the books. Been real. And,
Yeah. Can we get rid of these? These are scary.
they're scaring you.
Even if they were like this size in real life,
You're right.
they would still be,
They would still be
terrifying.
Like if this thing was just like crawling around like a cat.
Oh man, this thing that size, the facehugger things, it came out.
You just grab your fingers. Yeah.
Grab your finger?
No.
Still scream like a girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Cool. See ya.
See ya.